one of the things I struggle with is going into the shelters, because in my mind I was so afraid of being in the midst of strangers and feeling like, and people will say, well, why didn't you go to your family? Why didn't you go to your family? It's not that your family is not there to support you, but sometimes you need a different environment in order to process without the I told you so's, without the, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You need that time to kind of to process. And I thank God for, the two shelters that I was at, because it gave me time to kind of look at things and develop a perspective. One, healthy, and that it's okay to not be okay. Sometimes to being strong, and you want to be strong for your kids, and you want to be strong for everybody else, except, and there's sometimes you just don't want to be strong. Sometimes you want to just cry and get it out. So I'm grateful for the opportunity and the space to be able to do that in a safe place. So and it was help. I look back and I think like, wow, I've grown so much, and that's why I'm so passionate about helping other women to be able to get through the process. Because, when I hear people talk about abuse, I don't see people talk about it in depth. And that's because some people are not always comfortable with sharing, and I get that. But my prayer is that each of us that go through it, that we encourage somebody else that is facing it, that it will give them practical help, things that they can do that are tangible. That's not just fluff, but tangible things that they can take home and say, you know what? I realize I don't have to deal with this, and I have to do something to increase my self-worth, get in the presence of God and allow God to fill me. Because pulling somebody out of a relationship before you get to, when I think about some people wanting to pull me out before I was mentally ready, you couldn't get me out because I'll go back. But the more I started to gain strength emotionally, and I started to get encouraged, turn inside, it became a lot easier to strategize. So
the saying of when a woman's fed up is true. It's so true. People get frustrated because you don't move in their time. But one thing, and this is for people that know people in a woman or a man in abusive relationships, don't get frustrated. Don't give up. Don't have the attitude of, well, I tried to tell her and she didn't leave, so whatever happens to her. Don't do that, because the time will come, and the time will come when they consistently see you show up for them. When they get to that point to say, I'm done, who do you think they're going to?
Yeah, they're going to go to you.
My support was my mom, my sisters, my friends. They knew it. It hurt them to see it. They were so worried about me. And I reassured them, like, it's believe me, I don't think I'm to the point of life or death. If they felt he was going to weaken me so much emotionally and mentally that he was going to drive me crazy, and they would just mention that you got to take care of yourself, you got to do this. But let me tell you, if I didn't show up, if they couldn't get to me, if they called me and didn't answer that phone, they was bringing doors down. And he knew that. Abusers need to see those.
Yes, they need to know that you have a support system.
They need to know it. If you push your support system away, then you give them free reign to do whatever. But he knew that there was a certain amount of information I would give, and there was a certain amount that I wouldn't. But it was but so far he would go, because he knew those people were around. So don't push your support system away, and support system, don't leave that person that needs you through frustration, because your presence makes a difference even when you feel like it doesn't.